So the 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. set, you would have seen a beautiful sunrise while you were playing.
I did. It was
wow.
amazing. So, yeah, like I said, I didn't really go into it with like much expectations, but yeah, it just trumped whatever I thought like it could have been. It was amazing because when I started playing, it was dark. Like there was still heaps of people there, which I also wasn't expecting. Like it was like nearly like a full crowd, and as I was playing, the sun was just like slowly kind of rising up behind them. And then by the time I finished, like it was super light, so I could actually see everyone's faces and all these smiles in the crowd.
Sight.
Like, oh my God. There was some creatures, but like it was beautiful nonetheless. You know what I mean? It was, it was amazing. And then walking off and just having heaps of people like come up and praise you and just say how much they loved it. Yeah, it was, so beautiful. That's definitely my favorite so far for sure.
Yo, what's up? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, grab onto your headphones. This is going to be a wild one. You're listening to another episode of Before the Money.
Before the money, baby. Let's fucking
go.
Let's go.
You know what time it is, my favorite time of the week. We are sitting here with disc jockey, legend, in the flesh, Just Jessie, a.k.a. Jessie Upfield. How you doing today?
I'm good.
You doing?
Thank you for coming on in. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being in our presence. And so today, this is an episode I'm kind of looking forward to. If you guys are a long-time listener, you would have listened to our episode with Alistair King, creative entrepreneur, animator, all-round good guy. This is the better half of Alistair. So, for you Gold Coasters, you're probably familiar with Jessie, or stage name Just Jessie. She plays at a lot of like the venues around here, Hellenica. You're a resident elsewhere for quite a while. Where are some other places you play currently?
I'm mostly playing at like Miss Me and Justin Lane at the moment, in between like a few other little random events that I've been playing lately that have been pretty cool.
Yeah, fantastic. So we're
Justin Lane, what a spot.
I know.
Oh, they've cracked it.
It has to be like top of my list, like favorite venues.
Best
I love that
pizza.
place. Yeah.
Oh, legit.
Let's go.
What do you get from there? What's your pizza?
Oh, it's got to be the seafood one, man.
Yeah,
Seafood's dope.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, the spicy one.
Oh, I haven't had the spicy one yet.
Ooh.
I've skimped out on that spice. I can be a bit of a pussy sometimes.
Yeah, I charge the seafood for sure. So today we're gonna get a little bit of an inside scoop to what it's like as a full-time DJ. We're gonna also talk about some of like your favorite gigs you've played, and then hopefully, depending on how good of a job we do, we might get a glimpse inside the mind of Jessie and get some rawness. So we'll see how we go. We'll see how many drinks we can get into her.
It always helps.
Yeah. So, all right, let's kick it off with something interesting. What was your favorite gig? Let's detail that story a little bit. Why it was your favorite gig?
It's I feel like when people talk about their favorite gigs, it's something that happened like years ago and it's like stuck with them. But mine has to be one of my most recent, which is Rabbit Seat Lettuce that I played.
Yeah. What is Rabbit Seat Lettuce?
So it's like a bush doof.
Yeah.
Basically happens in like the sunny coast hinterland. Used to happen in like the Byron Bay hinterland, but then with all like the shit with the New South Wales government and all that, they moved it up into Queensland, which is just as close.
So we're trying to stop like festivals and live events for a while, weren't they?
Yeah.
Fuck
so I think they weren't the only festival I think that moved up to Queensland. I think there was like definitely a few other ones. But yeah, their new spot, Land Cruiser Park, I think it's called, is a sick place.
Land
So
Cruiser
cool.
Park?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where everyone goes like forward driving and shit like that. Yeah. Wicked.
Yeah,
That's like in the wilderness.
Out there with good doof music and
Fuck,
good mix.
It looked like a wild time. I was
Yeah, it was
looking through
insane.
some of the photos that you guys all putting up. It looks like a lot of fun out there.
So
Photos don't do it any justice. Hey, like
what's
the
a
best
bush
times.
doof like then for anyone that hasn't been?
Oh,
Give us a visual.
don't think of like a festival.
Yeah.
Because like it's not like that. It's not like a Splendor. It's not like a Falls. It's not like a mainstream festival. It's like totally different. It's not like you're getting ushered into like, here's your camping spot. Here's the toilets that you use. Here's the shower that you use. Like this is like the set times of all the people that you want to see play, blah, blah, blah. It's not that. It's like once you're in the gate, it's like everyone knows each other. Everyone's friends.
Every man for themselves.
Yeah. Camp where you fit. Shower where you want or don't. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what stage you go to at any given time.
Wow.
You just know that someone good is going to be playing. Like, it's sick. Like, the little side stages were just as good, if not better, than the main stages.
And is it 24-hour music? Like,
so
is there a break at all?
Well, there's like 2 main stages. I
Mhm.
think their music stops at like a certain time, but there's one stage, the Drift Lab, that just goes and goes and goes and goes. It's like it's 24 hours. Like, there's someone playing there all the time
Where did you play at Rabbits?
in the Drift Lab.
Oh,
Sounds like the place. to be.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sick. So what was your set like, you know?
It was crazy fun. Like, I didn't actually go into it with super high expectations, just because like the set time was like a little bit funny, and I was kind of like, I don't know how that's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
People are either going to be there like super fucked up, or people are going to be in bed. Like, there's going to be no
was
one.
it
or
really
there's
early in the
gonna-
morning?
Yeah, it was 4:30 in the morning till 6 a.m.
Oh,
Yeah. So even for myself.
That's literally the graveyard shit.
Yeah, that's it. I was literally like, even for myself, I was like, do I go to sleep beforehand? Like, do I just party through it? Like, what do you do at that time?
What
So
did you do?
I did the responsible thing. I went to bed. I set my alarm for like 2:30 in the morning, and got up, got myself refreshed, and made my way there. Can't say the same for my friends that made it there, but it was
They were
good
just
fun.
shells of human beings in the fucking audience.
Yeah, legit, because we actually had to be at the stage an hour before my set time so that I could check in with the sound crew. So if you're not at the stage an hour before you start playing, they start trying to look for a replacement for you, essentially.
So there'd be so many people that would just get lost in the party and like just
Yeah.
Especially
disappear
because
into
so many
oblivion.
people don't even take their phones around with them because there's no reception. Nothing at all. So most people just like lock their phones in the car, which again is like the beauty of it. There's no like social media, there's no like distractions, there's no phone calls, no like your boss needs you like back home, like too bad they can't reach you, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of the beauty of it. It's like to completely unplug and disconnect, and it was certainly the weekend that I needed at the time.
Something we don't get to do very often.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, just like literally going for a walk without your phone, it just feels like you're fucking 10 kilos lighter for some reason.
But it's such a foreign feeling too, which like I wish it wasn't. Like,
yeah, whenever I have like when I'm going for a walk, because I try and do it as often as possible, just leave my phone and go and have some like time just to clear my head, and I'll have like an idea because they always come to me then, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna write it down on my phone before I forget it. I'm like, I don't have it. That's probably why the idea came to me,
Yeah, I've been having like lately I've been just leaving my phone in a different room, and I'll go into the office and I'll be trying to do some work or something, and I just get so ingrained in the task at hand, and I'm not distracted at all by my phone's not in the room, so then I forget about it, and then it's just
a reaction. Pick it up just to see if you got any notifications, you know?
Yeah. I've got my notifications off and I still pick it up to check if there's notifications, knowing that
like, what did I miss?
Yeah, legit.
100%.
Someone having fun without me?
Yeah. My phone's been out of my hand for 5 minutes. Like, what did I miss?
So the 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. set, you would have seen a beautiful sunrise while you were playing.
I did. It was
wow.
amazing. So, like I said, I didn't really go into it with like much expectations, but it just trumped whatever I thought like it could have been. It was amazing because when I started playing, it was dark. Like there was still heaps of people there, which I also wasn't expecting. Like it was like nearly like a full crowd. And as I was playing, the sun was just like slowly kind of rising up behind them. And then by the time I finished, like it was super light, so I could actually see everyone's faces and all these smiles.
That would have been a
in the
dangerous
crowd.
sight.
Like, oh my god, there was some creatures, but like it was beautiful nonetheless. You know what I mean? It was it was amazing. And then walking off and just having heaps of people like come up and praise you and just say how much they loved it. Yeah, it was so beautiful. That's definitely my favorite so far for sure.
It's super cool because that moment would have stuck with everybody there too.
Yeah.
Like the sun coming up during the set, and really cool.
I didn't even think about it. Yeah, their perspective of that.
100%.
Yeah,
that
for
would have
sure.
added to it for sure.
Yeah, right. Sick.
Yeah, especially like, with the aided assistance of various substances that go around at a venue like that.
They're like, holy fuck, I
Yeah.
can see
'Cause-
now. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Literally, you know, like when you're on, you know, say like Molly or something, and then like you're so sensitive to like light and all that kind of stuff. So as the sun's coming up, it just like would have been like this euphoric feeling mixed like with the music and the
Yeah.
venue, and we gotta go to fucking Rabbit's
Yeah,
Ear.
Yeah.
dude, I'm there, bro. I was
Yeah.
sold.
Literally, Alistair sold us in like his episode. Like,
Yeah.
I'm there, man. Just whenever, I'm fucking there.
Yeah.
He met a wizard. Like,
Oh
did you
my
meet any
God,
cool creatures like that?
yes. Yeah, there was actually one guy who stuck with me. He had, I don't know if Al actually mentioned this guy, but he walked around in like a tutu and like a little tank top the whole weekend. I swear to God, every day he was wearing the same thing. Don't think he took it off the whole weekend. And he had a doof stick, which I don't know if you guys have seen like all the creative doof sticks that people make, but his was essentially just like a stick. I'm pretty sure he picked up maybe on the way in, I don't know. And it just had like this little gremlin looking creature like duct taped to the top of it. But he, like, this image of him is like really stuck with me. He said something to, I remember he said something to Saria.
Very insightful.
Yeah, like he was definitely on some shit. Like, but Saria turned around. She was like, "I like your doof stick," and he went, "Isn't this like such a beautiful moment?" Or he said something like real crazy, and I was just like, "Oh, that's so beautiful." Like to be in his mind right now.
Yeah.
And then there was some other guy who was walking around, who was like, could have been my dad's age. I think he must have gone alone. And then every day we saw him in like a kilt and like New Balances, like, and he's like running around, looks like a caveman. Like this guy's like so sweaty,
Viking.
like running around circles. Everybody was crazy, but like so much fun.
Yeah, shit.
Like cool to see people kind of like let loose a little bit. Like he probably works some like corporate 9 to 5 and
Yeah,
he's like,
suit
I'm
and
letting
tie.
go. Yeah.
He just goes off into the wilderness. No one can like snap any like photos really,
That's
because
it.
you know he
That's
just
it.
gets to
Yeah.
like
Just to fucking let it out.
Yeah, for sure.
disconnect. Fuck, I feel like there'd be so many people that would just go to these festivals, like and then they go back to their normal lives
Yeah.
and you know back into the rat race.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like even some of my friends that I know, like had I not known that they go to Buschdorf's and I had just like met them in like the corporate world, no way would I ever think that they do that.
Yeah,
So like it's just this big mix of people who are like-minded in some sort of sense, even if like their job doesn't reflect that, which is cool because it's like so many different roads sort of lead to the one place.
yeah, it makes and
Yeah.
everyone goes to something like that for a different reason.
Yeah,
And
for
and
sure.
everybody's there for a good time as
Yeah.
well.
Sick. So why did you decide to get into DJing in the first place? How did that come about?
It was a funny one actually. I was working like a bar management job for like 5 years, and like loved the place while I was there. But you know, when like a new boss comes in or something, you just like don't mesh with them, and you're just like, all right, I'm gonna.
Changes the whole atmosphere.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, this is probably my cue to leave. But I didn't really have anything else lined up, so I kind of was like, well, I've been working like 60-hour weeks here. Like this is crazy. Like I'm just gonna give myself like some time to just like chill out. Wasn't really doing anything. I was just kind of like enjoying my time off, and then was scrolling through Facebook one day and saw this like ad from Your Shot that was like, learn how to DJ, like travel the world, blah 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 blah. And I was like, I like music.
Yeah, you've been around it as well in the the
Yeah.
scene. Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, not to like brag, but I felt like whenever I would go to parties, people would always be like do the music.
yeah.
And I was kind of
You're
like,
the aux girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Sick.
clicked on it and I kind of like looked more into it. Didn't think anything of it, and I was like, oh, I'll sign up for this thing, like whatever this is. And then got an email back like a few weeks later, and it was like, come along to the induction day, and it was in Brisbane. Obviously I was living here on the Gold Coast, and I was kind of like, can't really be bothered to go, so I'm just gonna like leave it. And my brother's girlfriend at the time, he was playing footy. She messaged me like a few days beforehand, and she was like, oh, I'm going up to watch Jake play footy in Brisbane on this day, like do you want to come? And I was like, Brisbane on that day? Like actually, like, yeah, like I'll come with you because it's something that I might do in Brisbane, like since I'm going to be there anyway. So I went to this induction day.
It was meant to be.
That's it.
Yep.
I like went to this induction day that I wasn't even going to go to. Like I think there was like something like over 1,000 applicants, and there's like 100 or 150 or something people like get through. Anyway, I got chosen, went through, did like all this training with Your Shot, and then ended up getting like second on my stage on my day, which was cool. And then shit just kind of took off from there, really.
So what is Your Shot? Is it, from what I'm gathering, it's maybe like a competition that they also teach you the skills for like amateur DJs and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically if you get chosen, you have to be in Brisbane for like a training period, which is like I think like maybe 2 or 3 hours that you spend with like a DJ like coach.
Yeah.
So like 2 or 3 hours like a week. You do that for like say 6 weeks, and then at the end of the 6 weeks, everyone gets to jump up and play like a half an hour set. And then there's like judges, and
Sick.
you get judged based off like not just the music that you play, but like your stage presence, like your crowd interaction, like
The
your
whole
mixing
package.
ability, all of it. So
Wow.
yeah.
And you got
It's pretty
second.
cool. On my stage, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So there's
That's-
like a couple of different
yeah.
stages because obviously trying to
yeah.
get through like 150 DJs in like
True.
2 days.
If
is,
everyone
like,
has a
big
half
thing.
an hour set.
Yeah, there's like 3 stages, I think. And then there's like a wild card thing downstairs, which
Yep.
is like if you're a DJ already, I think you enter as a wild card. So
Epic. Well, for everyone that's watching on YouTube, you definitely have like the style and swagger of a fucking DJ. You know, she's got Jordans on, she's got the
100%.
flanny.
It's the
Fucking sick jewelry.
lock is dope. I've been
Yeah.
checking that out a lot. I'm like, that's
The
fucking
lock
sick.
necklace.
it's functional too.
100%. If Alistair plays up. Oh shit. Yeah, so you got the whole package, you know. So I mean, I've heard you. I think I only met you for the first time a couple of weeks ago at one of your sets, but I'd heard your name bouncing around the Gold Coast. You know, Just Jessie.
Sick.
You've been in the game for a little bit. How long have you been doing it?
I'm gonna say like 5 years now.
5 years. That's a minute. Hey.
Yeah.
Holy
It feels like so much longer though. Like it
Mm.
feels like I've been doing it for so long.
because you found your passion.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%. It's like
Wow.
something that stuck with me, and it feels like when I came out of Your Shot, I was like, that like just was just so natural. Like it just, I don't know what I'd be doing now if that whole phase of my life like hadn't happened. I actually have no idea.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
So when you say things like really took off out of Your Shop, took off in what way? Like what kind of opportunities did that give you?
Well, it was pretty crazy because obviously, and I would recommend it to anyone who's thinking about doing it, because when you think about it, the judges are people that are already established DJs or are within the music scene, you know, in this area. So it's like, if you make a good impression, you've already got contacts.
Yeah.
So for me, because I was like pretty successful in it, I had already had like DJs and booking agents and, you know, club promoters and stuff like that come up to me after my set and say, you know, do you want to play here? Like, let's do this. Or people messaging me.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it was heaps of fun. So from straight out of Your Shot, essentially, I started playing at Capulet, was my first residency, which is now known as Sub Rosa up in Brisbane. So that was
Wow.
yeah.
That's sick.
Pretty crazy to look back on now, but yeah, and then not long after that is when I started playing elsewhere. So
Yeah. So when you went in and started playing gigs, like talk us through that feeling. Was it like nerves? Was it excitement? Mesh of both? Like
100% it was nerves.
Yeah.
Like if anyone knows me well, they know that I'm like a very naturally anxious person. I get freaked out pretty easily. So I always went into sets with this like mentality of like, you have to plan out like song for song, like what you're going to play. And, you know, I hadn't really in Your Shot, you get taught all about how to mix, but not necessarily like the momentum in the way that your mixing should be done. So like, you know, you go to a gig and the person who's playing first isn't playing the same kind of set that the headliner's playing, but you don't get taught that. So
yeah.
I was like going into these club gigs like balls to the wall, like, yeah. And I'm like, looking back on it now, I'm like, God, you shouldn't have done that. But yeah, in my head, like at the time, I was like, this is sick.
Yeah, just go for fucking gold.
Yeah, for sure. That's like a big thing that I took away from playing it elsewhere. Like, biggest thing was like being taught that sort of like, it's almost like if you're looking at it like visually, it's like a linear graph sort of like how the energy over the night should sort of go.
How do you fit into the whole event?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So like let's dive straight into it. What kind of advice would you give to yourself, say like back when you were just coming out of your shot, you know, with the knowledge you have now?
It'd definitely, like, the biggest thing for me would definitely just be like track choice. Yeah. Like, plan your music better. Don't just go into it and be like, this song's a banger, so I'm going to play it because I think it's a banger. You're not playing for you. You are playing for you, but you also have to keep in mind that there's a whole night ahead. It's not just you. Yeah. So, yeah.
And you really have to like watch the vibe of the crowd as well.
You
know?
Yeah,
really
for sure.
Feed off that.
Yeah, of course. Like you can play like balls to the wall, like straight from the beginning. There's gonna be people that fucking love it, but then like the other DJs that are playing after you are just like, this bitch.
Shit. By the time they get out and everyone's fucking sweaty in a heap on the floor.
Already
yeah, that's it. Because it's like, yeah, it's not a sprint. So you gotta like your job playing in a club is to obviously try and keep those patrons there spending as much money as possible. You don't want to tire them out too early or you got no one to play to and like at 2:30 when the club's just about to close, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like as someone who listens to music all the time, you know, what do you listen to when you're just, you know, you're not on stage? Like what does Jessie listen to?
It's funny actually because most people would just like assume that I listen to the stuff that I play all the time and that's not necessarily the case. Like I actually like some like alternative R&B, like I play a lot of like Georgia Smith and you know that kind of vibe
tunes.
When I'm kind of just like chilling at home. Love K-Tronada. Yeah, I mean it all depends on like vibe or like my mood at home too. Like sometimes I'll just like be in this like hyper mood and I'll be like, what's the hardest techno that I've got? Like let's play that. And it's kind of cool because like Al and I share like an office sort of like creative space at home and he kind of like vibes that stuff too. So I'll just play it and we'll both just be like, yeah.
What is the hardest techno you have?
Yeah, like I don't know, like there's Carl Cox, like Umek, like I got playlists for that stuff.
Yeah, shit.
So I have a confession, guys. I lied to you. It's Cascade that has the Christmas album.
Oh,
still
not K-Tronada.
Not K-Tronada.
Still, Cascade is sick.
Cascade, yeah, and it does it really cool. They're kind of like poppy. So what do we got here? He does like all the fucking classics. This is Winter Wonderland, everybody. Let's see how it comes through.
Play it to like the front of it, yeah.
Hopefully we don't get copywritten for this.
We probably will.
Yeah, I totally think that's the
thing.
I'll use some audio trickery to hide it.
Oh, yeah, right.
We getting a V.BLVQ Christmas special?
Oh, look, it ain't Christmas.
That's
yet.
enough of that.
December's one of the months, man.
Yeah, look, maybe just drop a Christmas
I'm
single.
sure we'll still be behind schedule then, so the 25th will be right on the money.
Just do like All I Want for Christmas Is You cover.
Yeah. Oh, legit, just like naked with the bow. I could see that as the album cover.
Come out. The piano slides out on while you're on it. It's like
full glass piano.
Michael Bublé style.
Yeah, shit. He's the king of Christmas.
Yeah,
for sure.
He really is. His revenue goes through the roof when Christmas comes around.
That's his peak season.
All you need is like one good Christmas song, and like every year you're set.
Have you heard Snoop Dogg's album?
Pretty there too, I bet you.
Legit. Have you heard Snoop Dogg's Christmas album?
No.
I have heard Snoop's, yeah.
There's so many hidden gems. You got to get yourself out there.
My God.
Especially around Christmas.
Yeah, you're letting yourself slip.
I know.
Shit. Well, we might as well jump to, because we got just a couple of minutes before we have to bounce off to this interlude. But yeah, I'm really liking this vibe already.
Yeah, look.
Yeah. How are you feeling? Because you were a little bit nervous beforehand.
I feel comfortable now. You guys are right. Like in minutes into it, and I feel like I'm at ease now.
Legit. Once you realize it's okay to just get on here and dribble shit, you know, the pressure just drips off.
And we dribble some serious shit.
Shit.
I love it.
All right. We'll see you guys in a minute. Cheers. Ooh. Alrighty, we are back and better than ever. Thanks for hanging around, even though in your time it was like milliseconds. But I appreciate it anyway. So we were having a little bit of a chat off air in our interlude. And obviously everyone here in the Before the Money crew at Electric Sugar, we're all creatives. You know, we dip our hands in different fields within the creative area, but at heart, we all are creatives. So one of the things like that creatives come up against, and you would have heard us talk about in our last episode, is these kind of blockages, because it takes a lot of energy to really be your honest and authentic self within your art, whatever field of art you are in. So we kind of got onto the conversation of, you know, what happens when we reach those blockages, when we lose our inspiration, and, you know, how important, you know, feedback and energy from other people could be. So obviously as a DJ, it's a field that, you know, it has its ups and downs, just like anything. So is there times where you kind of like, you lose that slump or you lose the passion for it, or like? For
sure. Like, I think especially when you're in phases where your gigs are starting to feel a little bit monotonous, like, you know, you play the same venue every week, feel like you're playing the same shit from the same playlist to the same people every week. You can get into this kind of headspace where it's like, what am I doing? Like, it becomes more of a job than it does a passion. Yeah. And you sort of hit a wall where you're like, all right, maybe this isn't what I should be doing, because I'm no longer getting any sort of like joy or fulfillment from this. And then, you know, someone says something or does something or has some sort of reaction to something that you've created, and it just like flips it all back on its head.
Reignites the spark.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, if I ever get like positive feedback from friends or something that message me, or if they see me out and they're like, I listened to that mix that you made, it was sick, or like even if like they just comment on it, like on like SoundCloud or something, like something positive, it just gives you like that little like bit of a kick where it's like, that's why I do this.
Yeah.
Like,
people don't realize how much of an impact they have just because like I literally just said, being a creative, you literally have to put your heart out on a platter for the world to see and for the world to judge. You know, that's what art really is, you know, and if you're not being honest, then it shows in whatever you're making. So for someone to then just something as little as, you know, oh, I listen to your mix like every day, I fucking love it. Straight away, you're like, what I'm doing has a positive impact on that, and that's super energizing. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Energizing is 100% like the right word to use in that situation. It kind of like makes you think like, well, I did that and other people are enjoying that, so like I'm just gonna keep going. Yeah,
I think the little bits of feedback and positive experience that you get to and from people also builds into the momentum, and then myself, especially to get myself out of my creative slump, sometimes I need a little bit of momentum, and that can come from people commenting positive stuff, and then that spurs on somebody else, which will spur on me being in a better mood to react to somebody else who then drops another little comment, and then it just builds and builds and builds, and all of a sudden we're just rolling again.
So if like for you, Reese, because for everyone that doesn't know, Reese is dropping one song every single month this year. And so the very first song he dropped in January was a song called Ferris Bueller. Very, very popular song, super catchy. If you haven't heard it, listen to it. So, but I remember pretty much as soon as you released that song, you got, someone reached out to you from Triple J. Was it the executive producer?
So it's the executive producer of Triple J on Earth, Tommy Faith.
Yeah.
He, I just was just chilling at home, and then I got a notification from Instagram saying that I've been tagged by him and there was a picture of my face on his story. And he was like, oh, I wrote about V.BLVQ on my blog. And I had no idea who he was. So I was like, oh, some dude's written about me on his blog. That's sick. And I just messaged him. I was like, oh, dude, like, where can I read this? Sent me a link. And I was reading it, and then while I was reading it, he sent me another link, and he was like, I'm sure you've seen this as well. And it was Triple J on Earth taking Ferris Bueller and putting it onto Triple J on Earth radio straight away. And then I was like, oh, fuck. Like, okay, this is sick. And then I looked him up and realized that he was the exec at Unearthed. And then very soon after that, Declan Byrne hit me up, and he was like, yeah, bro, spinning you on Triple J tonight.
Yeah.
Tune in, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I remember you saying,
all in like 3 weeks after putting that song out, and then again momentum, and like we wouldn't be doing the things that we are doing this year if it wasn't from that. If it wasn't for that 1 month, one a month drop, that momentum, and every time we drop off, another one comes at the end of the month. Everything goes back up again.
And getting that kind of positive reinforcement from someone that's so high up, you know, in the scene you're trying to break into, straight out the gate would have just been, you know, nothing but energizing for, you know. That
in itself crushed every little bit of doubt I've ever had in music ever. That moment when I realized that people who are in the industry are really fucking with it, that's when I was like, shit, I've got something here. And haven't turned back since.
Yeah.
But with that too, it's also like you never know who's listening.
So
like
true.
it might not,
exactly.
like you're putting shit out and you're thinking like, yeah, like I'm posting it to Facebook, so like my Facebook reach is gonna have access to that, and it's like my friends and my family, and it's like, but it can transcend that so quickly.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
And going back to like the experience that we're going through, off of that we got introduced to a booking agent who then put us on 2 gigs, which then put us on to the next booking agent who's
That
got
momentum.
even bigger gigs, and then the original one, because of the first gigs, is now giving us bigger ones, and it's just momentum. Momentum.
And like I was just saying outside, you know, at the very first gig that we played as a band, you know, we rock up, and the band that we were opening for, one of the first things they said was, you know,
before the fucking money, baby, let's go.
Literally. And then like from that moment, we're like, fuck, people are listening, you know, like it is spreading. So like from there, I think we just went absolutely nuts, recording like 2 episodes a week. We're just so fucking like, we dove in head first, which was exciting because you need, like, it's very hard. You just want to know, like, okay, all this work that I'm putting, although we do it for ourselves a lot, like it is very, very hard to keep that sustained over a long period of time when you're not receiving, you know, any kind of feedback, you know, but it's the name of the game we're in, you know, we have to kind of get over that. So how do you, when you get into one of those like slumps, right? What's going through your head? Like, is there times where you're kind of just like, oh, you know, I'll find a quote unquote, you know, real job, and is that not ever been an option for you?
No, it definitely has.
Yep.
Like, and you know what? Especially since like the start of COVID is when I was kind of realizing how like volatile the music and entertainment industry in general can be, and how quickly it can just be dropped.
Yeah.
As I think when I was facing like my biggest doubts, when I was just like, hold on, like apparently DJs actually don't matter. Not that much, but like at all.
They matter to the people, but like to the communities, but the people making these decisions, they don't give a fuck. They're fucking old and wrinkly. Like they gotta go home and, you know, sit with their wife that they don't really like, and
they're not in LC.
Well,
they don't remember.
Maybe they'll come through. Who knows?
No, but I've definitely had those like moments where I've thought like, what am I doing? Like go and get a corporate job so you can, you know, work full time and get holiday pay and set yourself up for life and all that.
Now you're
crap.
getting me excited. Jesus.
No, but then it
Rolls
comes down
eyes
to like
very heavily.
like the internal fulfillment. Like I don't want to sit at a desk all day and work for somebody else. Like I didn't start DJing because I wanted to make someone else happy. I started doing it because I wanted to make myself happy. And it has made me happy, so why the fuck would I stop?
You look happy.
Yeah, I am happy.
It comes down to I just literally couldn't, like, for my own mental health. Like, I've tried working in a regular job, and I just deteriorate until the job finds its way out of my life, or I find my way out of my job's life. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, in those moments, I've definitely had like times where like my agent has sort of been like, what are you doing? Like, I haven't seen anything new from you in months. Like, there's no mixes. You're still not making music. Like, I need new press shots. I need this. I need this. I need this. And you get in this like headspace where you're like, I'm not doing it because I don't want to, and I don't have any motivation, and I'm not going to force myself to do it, because then it comes right back to that mentality, like what I was saying before of like, I'm doing it because it's a job.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be a job. It's my passion, and I want it to stay as my passion. You got to find that balance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I said to myself from the beginning that if it becomes more of a job than a passion, then I don't want to do it. So yeah, there's definitely times when I'm sort of like, I don't want to do it, and I'm not going to force myself to. The passion will come back. The flow state will come back. I'll feel re-energized, re-inspired when the time is right, but I'm not going to force it.
Yeah, it's a dangerous balance, you know, when it comes to
For sure.
creativity. Because sometimes, you know, there are times where you need to force yourself to, you know, sit down and do the thing, because sometimes you find that passion through action. You know, I find definitely like there are times, because I hate sitting in front of the computer. Even though I love designing, I hate sitting in front of the computer. So I have to force myself to sit down. I'm like, all right, just type a word out in Photoshop or in Illustrator and just see what that inspires you to create. And every time I do that, you know, that I immediately see a t-shirt graphic, and then I'm like, now there's nothing on this planet Earth that will stop me from finishing that design. You know, and it's almost like the like switch is flicked instantly. But so what I'm curious is, like, in times of, you know, when COVID and your gigs have been like shut down, there's no live events and stuff like that, have you ever thought about maybe doing like a Twitch stream? Like, I know a lot of DJs did live sets and stuff like that over streaming.
Yeah.
Have you done something like that?
I actually did do a couple in like the peak of COVID, when you were only allowed like 2 or 3 people or something at your house, when it was like super, super strict. My agency was actually running like a weekly live stream, actually, and they're still doing it now, together wherever they do it. Every Friday they live stream on their Twitch, but now they do it from Hotel Miami, which is where the agency is based. But back in the beginning, when they first started doing it with all the lockdowns and everything, each week Brock would like pack everything up, go to someone's house. Like, I think I did 2 of them. I did one at my place and one I think at someone else's place or something. But yeah, I actually did think about getting into doing it more, so like doing some myself, but the more I looked into it, the more intimidating it got. With like, because I'm good with technology, but I'm not great with technology. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I looked into it and I was like, how do you hook up a GoPro to live stream but with also the audio? And I was like, no, maybe I can do it from my phone. And I don't know. Eventually, look, I just gave up, because I was like, look, there's people out here that can do this. I'm not one of those people.
There's a lot to go into streaming.
I honestly thought it was as easy as just like setting up your phone, maybe like 1 or 2 wires, and you're on your way. And the more I looked into it, the more I was like, oh no, this is not going to be
you can
easy.
set up a stream like that, but then when you're watching it, it looks like a stream that's been set up like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You just can't compete with
I didn't
everything
really
else.
care about like the visual, because it was about the music for me, but it was the audio part that I was like, I don't know how to make this work.
It's so important. You really want the best feed properly.
That's
like
it,
possible
yeah.
with
When
audio.
it's about the music, like more so than anything else, like you want the music to be like super clean and crisp. So
Sick. So like when you're kind of in a little bit of a funk, what kind of music do you listen to? Because for me personally, like I'm a genre, like I just listen to every fucking thing. But if I'm anxious or something like that, I play heavy metal, screamo and all that kind of stuff. So
interesting.
what does Jessie listen to when she's in a funk and, you know, you're trying to pump yourself up?
If we're talking like before like a gig, or if I'm trying to kick myself back into like some sort of creative energy, I've got like quite a few mixes saved on my SoundCloud that I'm always kind of like, it's like when I hear a transition in like a song or something like that, it sort of sparks me to be like, how did he do that? And can I do that? So I sort of try and force myself to listen to what he did without seeing what he did, and then see if I can do that.
Yeah, okay.
So I love, I started a mix series like maybe a year and a bit ago, which is on my SoundCloud. I think I've done like 3 or 4 now, called my Slowdown series, which is sort of like music that I love to listen to, but not necessarily music that I would ever get booked to play. So it's like really eclectic, like down tempo, always like something under 100 BPM, like super slow, super chilled. Like, yeah, it's like it's a really specific sound. And it's funny because I started it because it's music that I love to listen to, but again, it's something I never thought I'd get booked for. And as it turns out, I ended up getting my first Bohemian Beat Freaks gig based off of those mixes, which was really cool, which was then the gateway into playing Rabbits. So it's funny how it all worked out.
Because Bohemian Beat Freaks is just like a smaller version of Rabbits Eat Lettuce.
Yeah,
correct?
so run by the same people, just not as large a scale.
Yeah, wow. So what do you think, like, ideal situation, right? Because I know you've mentioned that you're interested in transitioning into producing and stuff, like when the inspiration comes to you, but like still on the DJ front, what is your dream set? Like who are you playing with? Where is it? Like, because DJing can take you fucking anywhere.
It can,
you know, and it can find you in some really interesting situations as well. So what's your dream gig?
Oh, I feel like this is so in line with a question that I actually ask a lot of people, and it's if you could book any DJ in the whole world, no restrictions, to play with you at your house, who would it be? Mine it has to be Solomon.
Oh, wow.
It has to be.
Fuck,
like it actually has to be. That's
some like 24-hour rave shit.
That's it. Yeah. That's why. That is literally why. The man, once he starts, he doesn't stop. Like, could you imagine playing with him? Like, have you seen some of the after parties that he has played at? He goes from like a festival back to like some random person's house and will play for like 72 hours. Like, the man doesn't stop. He would just be so much fun to play with. And that is hands down the reason why, if I could book anyone in the world, no limits, like it'd be 100%, it'd have to be him.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
That is so sick.
You'd learn
and like,
so much from
he's like,
too.
you know what I mean? Like, he's like older. Yeah. He's not like some young hip DJ. He's like a veteran. Like,
yeah, he's just doing it for the love.
Yeah.
Just pure passion. There's nothing else but passion in that man.
And like, he can play anything, like anything.
So when you're building your house, are you going to set up like a rave room?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I was actually talking to Al about that this morning. I couldn't even explain to him what I could see in my head, but I could see it, and I was like, nah, that's it. Like, if we stay in this apartment that we're in, over there, like in that wall, I want there to be like speakers up here and heaps of vinyls down here and decks and like everything. And I don't know how to explain it to you, but like I see it in my head and I've got a vision and it's going to be on that wall. And he was like, what? Okay.
Sometimes they just don't get it.
I was like, let me go on Pinterest. I'm sure I can find like a picture, and I couldn't, but I was like, it's here though. I've got it here, so I know what I need to look for.
Yeah. I know when I was living in Sydney, we knew this guy called Herman, right? And he owned like this warehouse. It was on like a main street close to Sydney City. And the whole outside of this warehouse was just painted in like really bright, obnoxious graffiti and like strange abstract faces and things like that.
Sick.
And he would always host like the after parties for like major events. And it was, you go into this warehouse, it's so low key, but then you go in there, then it's like a split level. You can either go up to his like loft house, or you can go down and he had like a club. And when I say he had a club, like it was better than most clubs. So, but the thing is, everyone that went in there had to check their phones in. So you couldn't take your phones in. So say, for instance, you're walking down the stairs to the club, you look through your right and it's just a full glass wall and you see a swimming pool. And then you walk through these glass doors and you're in the club and it's just like a big sunken lounge, probably like, 15 meters by 15 meters, like a big room. And you can, the way that the pool is set up, you can see into the pool because it's like all glass.
Yeah, right.
And they have like a bar. And the way he gets away with this is like you don't pay for drinks. Everything's supplied. Like
to be rich.
100%. And like one of the best speaker setups you've seen. Then you walk through this door, like just super comfortable sunken lounges everywhere. Just everything is plush carpet. The walls are plush carpet. Like everything is just the perfect fucking den. You don't know what time it is outside. Like it's just one of those places you go into, it's just a vortex, right? And especially because you don't have your phone or anything.
Yeah.
And he also, which was the coolest part of this room, because we're kind of like we're underneath ground level at the moment. And you walk through this back door and next minute like you're in this kind of jungle, and it was a smoking room with like vents that like took the smoke up. And there's like this like underground
Oh my god.
But I say this is like fucking coolest club.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I'd love to have like a full blown club in the house.
legit.
That's got to be like one of the best you made it moments when you throw like a big dick baller ass party.
Yeah.
All expenses covered by you.
for sure.
That's got to be like one of the like I fucking made it moments. I just fucking created an awesome night for all my people and
Something for
spent
everyone
anything.
to remember.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I love that he made people check their phones in as well, because like we used to hang out with lots of like, you know, big influencers and stuff like that down there. There'd be Victoria's Secret models like around occasionally. Not my general crowd, but definitely saw some. And like they just felt so comfortable to like be themselves and fully send it because no one's there
Yeah.
with phones or anything. I was talking to Herman for the very brief time because he's like one of those aloof guys that just like vanishes, right?
Yeah.
Some of the
trap
times he
doors.
wasn't even at the parties, which is some fucking like real wizard shit. But he was telling me about this one time Madonna was there and she was skinny dipping in the pool, and like I said, you could see right into the pool. She was there with all her dancers and stuff like that, and purely because no one had their phones, everyone just felt like they could fully let loose.
Completely off grid.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like rabbits eat lettuce, like you were saying.
Yeah.
You know? Just that
there's
freeing
no like
feeling.
shame. Like you just kind of like there's no need to put on this like facade that you're someone else. Be 100% yourself in that space, because what are the repercussions?
And music brings that out of people as well, I think. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Music like connects people. It brings out like sort of like a different aspect of them, something that maybe they like don't show off in everyday situations.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so I could imagine you with that kind of house, like especially because you're going to be fucking world famous. Whatever you want. Like, I can just tell, you know, you're dripping in it.
We hope.
It's the swag.
It's the swag.
Swag. I feel it too.
Yeah.
Well, I know like Al wants like a club in the house just as much as I do. So like, let's just make it happen.
Al's got himself a sugar mama.
He actually wants to open his own club one day eventually, so that'd be sick.
Fucking.
I'm like, well, you've got a DJ, so
I'll be a regular.
yeah.
The old dude drinking at the bar.
Hey, Alistair, what would you call that
I
club?
was just about to ask that.
I actually have the name.
Go for it.
Pitch Black.
Ooh, yeah, I'll definitely be there.
That's like one of the clubs you could get lost at. Like, you know, like Revs down in Melbourne. It's like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you'd own a Revs for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Revs is definitely up my alley. But yeah, but the actual idea, I don't know if it would be illegal. But
Probably.
in my mind,
Blur
it
the
was basically you'd have two doors. And you go to the first door. There'd be obviously a big security guard.
Mm-hmm.
He lets you into to the second door. They take your phones, like in Herman's case,
vibes.
and then you open the door, and they close the door behind you like a seal room, and then they open the door and it's black.
Yeah, go through an airlock.
So basically an airlock, and you can't see anything but lasers and the silhouettes of people's heads above you. And you walk in and you're just walking towards the ominous sound of the DJ in front of you, and it's completely black.
Holy fuck. Could you
Yeah,
imagine
like-
that on mushrooms?
That's when I imagined it.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it. Holy
Oh,
shit.
fuck, that sounds awesome.
I'm there. I want the invite to the opening, please.
Yeah, look, I'll be there.
Fucking
It'll happen.
Yeah.
I reckon it's like a hard techno club for sure.
Oh, it'd have to
Oh,
be.
they'd
What
be
else would
playing
I
techno
play there?
24/7.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 minutes left on this
Shit,
section.
already.
I know. We're
Fuck.
flying.
That's gone really quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
Yeah,
was
that's what I
really
said. Like when you come back to the second session, it's just like, you know, home away from home.
it is. Way more chill.
Yeah, legit. Because when you first sit down, and like I say this to like every guest, it's like you feel the pressure. The mic's in front of you, like, oh, I have to sound like a genius, you
The
know?
headphones are on. You can hear yourself being fed straight back to you.
Yeah.
So it trips everybody out. And the light as well,
Yeah.
I find gets a lot of
The
people
light,
too.
the cameras, the microphone being like this close to my face. I'm kind of like,
Yeah. Just Jessie, where can our audience find you?
you can find me on Instagram. I know a lot of people try and find me on Instagram and they search Just Jessie, but every variant of Just Jessie that I want is taken. So on Instagram, I'm Club Jessie. But on everything else, I'm Just Jessie.
Are you on TikTok?
I am actually. I think that might be Club Jessie as well, though.
How are you finding TikTok? It's a strange platform, hey.
It is a strange platform. I haven't quite found my niche there
No.
yet.
It's a weird place.
trying.
It is a
but
weird
it's an
place.
effort.
It's a big spectrum on
Yeah.
that app.
Yeah.
Literally
anything, not anything goes because I've shadow banned for smoking on it.
Yeah.
So not everything
Within
goes, but,
reason.
like,
Yeah.
you literally can create fucking anything.
Yeah.
I've seen like whole accounts that are just people farting into their phones.
Oh, like ASMR fuck.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Ugh.
and they're getting a lot of views for it and probably getting paid quite a bit of money.
Yeah. I actually made one TikTok in like the middle of like lockdown last year. That like looking back on it now, I'm like, that is so lame. But it got like a ridiculous amount of views, like 500,000 views or something like that on TikTok. And I was
wow.
kind of like, whoa, like I wish that was something DJ related. Like that could have really been good for me, but
That's
it wasn't.
the-
It was something like really stupid.
That's the hard part because like I love really visual like cinematic content, you know, like I'm a sucker for Instagram. I love the platform. And then I'm going to TikTok and I post like these amazing videos that might do well on Reels, right? And then it just no one gives a fuck. It's like, no, just show me some fast move, stupid thing, you know, with crazy transitions and no real like substance. And I'm just like, oh,
That's it. I'll post something and I'll be like, this is cool. Like, this is
Yeah.
really cool. I'm really proud of this. And it doesn't get any views. And I'm like, delete it, re-upload it. Delete it,
gotta be
re-upload it. It's going to
shameless
take
as
off.
well.
I know it will. And it doesn't.
That's
It doesn't.
literally like why I struggled with it because for a period of time I was putting a lot of effort into making like a daily vlog on each
yeah.
Instagram video. But the amount of effort that I was going into making it to the amount of people that were seeing it, I was like, this is just doesn't work. It's
Yeah.
not sustainable. I'll burn out well before
Well,
I
did you
get
see
famous.
that
Just
Instagram is
quickly,
moving
sorry,
more into
I'm
a
gonna
video app?
pause these. Yeah, let's jump straight back into that, but I'm going to pause it. We'll just do another 5 minutes.
Continue to wrap it up, but
Yeah.
without just because we're still flowing a little bit. We're talking about TikTok.
Yeah, because I was just saying how like Instagram is now, they just like put up a thing that they're moving more into like a video sharing app than a photo sharing app now. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, they're going to like
Vertical
completely,
video.
pretty much like stop pushing photo content, hey?
Yeah, which like I know there's a lot of photographers I know that are pretty pissed off about that.
But the thing is about that, and this is something that I've had to kind of learn to do because I've gotten into photography and like I love it, but video is something that I haven't quite grasped yet. So the one thing that I've started doing is making really like, you know, jumpy and high energy videos out of my photos. And, you know, it's a way for me to kind of blend those two mediums because trying to create like full video, it's so much more effort and thought process and stuff like that. And I'm
Yeah.
only just dipping my toes in the water. So I started doing stuff like that and it seems to be going pretty well.
It does completely open the door for somebody else too, though.
yeah,
'Cause
definitely.
Instagram would be like, all right, we're just going video, and then somebody else is going to come through like, okay, well, you can't share your photos anymore, so
Yeah.
here's a
But then there's
platform that you
like there's
can.
also people that are like, well, that's what I use TikTok for.
Mm.
So like, who's gonna be the new photo sharing app,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or a photo is
They
just gonna
shoot-
become
shooting
irrelevant?
themselves in the foot a little bit there. 'cause
Yeah.
It's like, it's going to happen because not everybody wants to put all the effort in that it takes to make videos.
Yeah, that's it. It doesn't take very long to like shoot a quick photo and flick a filter on there and pop it up, but videos have to be actually a little bit more thought out.
Yeah.
I feel like even Instagram today, like, I feel like it is very rare that you would have people pull out their phone, take a photo, and post that straight away.
Yeah,
Like,
for
it's
sure.
not like
It has
that
to be run
anymore.
through like 5 apps before
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Insta worthy.
Nobody pulls out their phone, takes a picture, and posts it. It's
Yeah.
edited in a million different places.
Yeah.
It's from before.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what a lot of people like TikTok for is the incredible organic reach, you know, that you can get. So I feel like that, because I watched that that live interview, and that was the main thing he was saying. Like, yes, they're going to be pushing vertical video and shopping, but their main change is they want the algorithm to give you the organic reach that people are getting on TikTok.
Yeah.
Because that's why people are flooding to the platform. Because, you know, you listen to Gary Vee, you listen to anyone who's in the social media space, you know, they're like, oh, post one video on TikTok and, you know, blow up and it'll change your life. It's like, yeah, that's happened for some people, but there's also lots and lots of people. I go on their, you know, page, they've posted hundreds, sometimes even thousands of videos, and, you know, it hasn't blown up, you know. So
and fully worthy content too. Like,
yeah, content that I love and enjoy, but the one thing that I have found, and this is something that I'm having to kind of battle within myself, is you have to be shameless on TikTok. The ones that I see blow up are people like, oh, please share this, please send this with a friend, please follow me, and I really need your help.
Receive.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, this is crazy, right? So I was going down I was going through the small business or entrepreneurship, one of those hashtags or whatever on TikTok the other night, and I saw this one video. It was this person, they owned like a iPhone case business, and the video was closing my store after 6 months and not a single order. And the irony of this is that video blew up and got like 25 million views, and they sold out, and now they're like a fully fledged fucking business. How crazy is that?
Like bum content, and it just was like,
It was a shit video.
and it just made all the difference.
Because everyone, people like felt sorry for them, and they,
Went and bought a case.
Yeah,
How crazy is
wow.
that? It's the world we live in.
It's the right. TikTok sounds like it's just that you got to be the right video in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
It's just like
There's lots of luck
extension
involved.
Life, really.
Yeah, well, it's even like I saw this thing, I mean, not related to TikTok, but similar sort of train is, I saw this post the other day, and it was like, I think I actually shared it on my story, and it was like, Martin Garrix started learning how to produce and was on the main stage the next year. Don Diablo hit the main stage like 10 years after he made his first track. Like, you're not in a race, you're not behind, you're not ahead. Like, everyone's kind of doing their own pacing. It's just kind of reminded me of that, because it's kind of like you could be making music for years and your reach is like local, and that's as far as it gets, and then one day you make a track and it can just blow up like this, and you're like not ready for it.
Like Khalid, Ariana Grande was playing one of Khalid's songs on a story or something like that, and then it just fucking blew up. Next minute he was opening for her.
Yeah. Like, you never know. It comes right back to what I was saying before. Like, you never know who's listening.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So on this note, I mean, I've got really pumped. I'm feeling creative after this one. So on this note, let's get back to the wrap up that we kind of got sidetracked on. I love how this happens. Oh, camera's fucking died.
Camera done.
That's okay. We're saying goodbyes anyway. So
Oh, no, he's back.
no, it's not recording. It does that little tease. It says, "Oh, I'm out of battery," and then it kind of comes back for a few seconds, then it'll disappear. But this has been a fucking awesome episode. I love Before the Money, and I
For
hope
the money,
you guys
baby,
do.
let's fucking go.
Before the fucking money. Just to reiterate, you want to be looking up Club Jessie on Instagram to find this wonderful woman. Give her a follow, please. She's been real with you guys. She shared a little bit of an inside scoop into her life, the music industry, all that kind of stuff. We've had a really great chat. It was awesome to have Alistair back again. Luckily, he got a little bit of time to chime in. I'm super fucking keen for Pitch Black. If that doesn't happen, man, your head's on a chopping block.
No, you're all invited. Trust me.
Bro, we're going to do a live Before the Money at Pitch Black.
Oh yeah, it'll just be in pitch black.
Yeah.
No cameras allowed.
No, we'll... Oh, true.
And all the voices will be modulated.
Yeah. It'll be like a fucking terrorist video.
You don't actually know who you're talking to because it's auto-tune.
We could just get anyone in, be like, say it's David Guetta or something. Or we could even say it's Just Jessie, and people will lose their shit. Oh, fucking hell. I love the shit. Before the Money. Thank you guys for tuning in.
For the money, baby.
It's been another one. Episode number 20, bro.
Wow.
Shit.
How wicked's that?
That's fucking craziness.
So,
Jeez.
just as always, we are in the studio. Electric Sugar, much appreciated for lending us this space, man. Really appreciate it. AnarchyLabel.com. Make sure you go on and check that shit out. The 4th of August, we are dropping our brand new Humanity collection. You might have seen if you follow us on social media. We've been pushing that shit really, really hard. I'm wearing the Astro hoodie right now, the purple. People help the people. Fucking gorgeous. I get a lot of compliments on this one. I know I got a few.
So nice.
Oh, it's so cool.
I
Hey.
was wearing it the other night, and holy fuck, I was getting some attention.
Hey.
I like that, baby.
Talk
Let's
about
go.
confidence. Hey. V.BLVQ. Head over and follow him on Instagram. We got a brand new
IG.
dropping at the end of this month. And
31st. Let's go.
when I tell you this is a banger, this is a fucking banger with a capital B and an exclamation point.
Yeah, let's go. And then we'll be playing it elsewhere on the 6th of August. Holy shit, finally. Month late due to this COVID bullshit, but we will be there. Fucking so pumped. And then the following weekend, 14th of August, we'll be playing Barbecue Bazaar.
That's going to be a big
Big
one.
things.
Fuck
Before
yeah.
the money, baby.
Young